بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله أما بعد السلام عليكم and welcome to Future Stars Live on Hidayat TV. I'm your host Hassan Shah and today we are talking about Salah, Namaz and its importance. And before we continue, I'd like to introduce our guest.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Misbah.
Like we do on every show, Misbah is going to read a surah and Mohsin is going to read the translation. So can we start off with a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر صدق الله العلي العظيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Night of Power. What is the Night of Power? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the spirits descend therein by the permission of their Lord with all decrees. That night is peace until the rising of the dawn.
Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Thank you, Mohsin and Misbah. And remember, whenever you are reading surah, make sure you read the translation as well, so you know the history behind it and also how you can implement that into your life as well. Okay, so Misbah, what's our topic today?
Salah.
Salah. What? So first of all, we're going to talk about obviously the basics of Salah and what we actually what is the daily Salah that we do, the daily namaz that we do, yeah. And but first of all, what has just passed, like last week? Ramadan, yeah. And what was an important takeaway from the month of Ramadan that I reminded you lot to do?
Like, within yourself from bad deeds and like have patience.
Yeah, and because the month of Ramadan is a month where most people, yeah, they cleanse themselves in this month, obviously, yeah. Even if they were doing all this stuff for the before Ramadan, but because it was Ramadan, they committed, yeah, and did it. And now it's after Ramadan, yeah. And what I was because I wasn't here, obviously couldn't say this, and we wasn't doing the show at that time. But after Ramadan is also really important as well. Yeah, why would it be really important?
To see if like we can keep what we promised.
So what we did in Ramadan, yeah, after Ramadan, yeah, when you're not thinking about when you don't have to refrain from eating, yeah, this part, which then you might fall into the bad things that you were doing before Ramadan. Yeah, just because it isn't Ramadan. Yeah, so I hope people as well has kept to the word, because what we always think in the start of Ramadan is that okay, I'm going to stop all this stuff in Ramadan. Ramadan is going to cleanse me, and then afterwards I wouldn't need to do these bad things anymore. But sometimes it comes. Sometimes it comes back to us that we're going to do these things, but make sure we kept this promise that we did at the start of Ramadan, that Ramadan is going to help me, Allah help me through this month, and now I need to continue doing what I did in Ramadan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's Ramadan, it's not that you stop all these bad things just because it was a Ramadan and then carry it on afterwards, yeah. Because it was that month should have really helped us and I hope it did help everyone at home as well. So getting on to today's topic, yes, Salah and its importance. So what Salah do we do in a day?
5 daily salah.
Yeah, and what are the names?
Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha.
Yeah. How many rakats are each?
They all go like this. Each.
Each.
So individually.
Yeah.
Fajr is 2 rakat, Zohar is 4 rakat, Asr is 4 rakat, Maghrib is 3 rakat, and Isha is 4 rakat.
Yeah. So these are all the rakats of Salah. Yeah. And Mohsin, you've got the first thing. So can we start Mohsin off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Then when you have finished the prayer, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala standing, sitting and reclining. But when you are secure from danger, keep up the prayer. Surely the prayer is a time law for the believers. Al-Quran chapter 4 verse 103. Every day Muslims from all around the world turn their faces toward the Kaaba 5 times a day to pray to their Lord. In the morning before the sun rising, they wake up to pray for the sub prayer. In the afternoon, they pray the Duha and Asr prayers. Finally, in the evening, after the sun has set, they end off by praying Maghrib and Isha. From dawn to dusk, the Muslim is constantly remembering Lord through these prayers. In Arabic, these prayers are called Salah. And Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded the Muslims to perform them 5 a day. Salah is one of the most important practices in Islam, and in this lesson we will learn why it's so important. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil. Thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin, they're just introducing us to this topic. Mr. You've got the next thing, so can we start, Mr. Wafid Loud Salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
One of the reasons Salah is so important is because it is like a heavenly path that connects us to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we stand to pray, we are standing in the presence of our Creator. We recognize that He is our Lord and the Lord of everything around us. So we pray to Him with humility and humbleness. Through Salah, our exhausted and restless hearts find peace and comfort. So we thank Allah for what He has given us, and we ask Him to continue guiding us along the right path. Salah nourishes our souls just as food nourishes our bodies. It keeps us away from shameful deeds, and without it our souls will become weak and fragile. Salah has a social aspect as well, for when we pray in Jama'at congregation, we show the unity and brotherhood of all Muslims. It is for these reasons that Salah is so important, because it represents the heart of the Islamic message. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil fajr. Thank you, Misbah. So Misbah's going on talking about the importance of it, and one main important that really stands out for me is that Salah really helps you in your day-to-day life. And talking like how do I say it? Like in self-control. In most ways it helps us in self-control. Yeah, because you would feel, yeah, if you don't have this set that on this time, because Allah has set time for namaz, obviously, yeah, hasn't He? Yeah. This time I'm gonna do Salah. Yeah, this time I'm gonna do Zuhur. This time I'm gonna do Asr. This time I'm gonna do Maghrib. Okay, so these times are set out for you. You follow these times. Yeah. One, it helps us with self-control. Obviously, to follow these times. The further this goes in is the feeling you get, and how I would describe it as unconscious. You unconsciously control what you do. Yeah, I'm probably putting it in a really weird way, but Salah really helps you in controlling, like Miss was saying, your actions. Yeah, in self-control from the sins that Allah forbade from us. Because Salah, what does it help us do? When we do Salah, what are we doing?
Praying to Allah, helping us to get closer to Him.
Yeah, helping us to get close to Him, reminding us of Him. Going back to the first ayah, that Mohsin said in the beginning. Mohsin, can you read that out again?
Okay. Then when you have finished the prayer, remember Allah standing, sitting and reclining. But when you are secure from danger, keep up the prayer. Surely the prayer is a time law for the believers.
In the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this, how I'm linking it now. Yeah. Salah really helps us in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah, we are there's this strong feeling against these actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbade. Yeah? I don't think we realize how much, if we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our day-to-day life, how we can get free these habits that are inside us. If we just by remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Salah really helps in this. It really does. Yeah. If you ask people of experience who maybe in their lifetime for a period they didn't do Salah, but then they started doing it, and you ask them and they'll tell you the change. They'll most definitely tell you the change. Yeah. So Mohsin, you got the next one, so you can start Mohsin off with the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjah.
So if Salah is this important, then what is it telling us? Well, for one reason, it is telling us that we cannot be careless about our Salah. In the Holy Quran, Almighty Allah warns us, so woe to the praying ones who are heedless of their prayers. In other words, we must take our Salah seriously and treat it with much respect. After all, we are not just standing in front of anyone, we are standing in front of our Lord. The Salah is like a living being. If we don't treat it with respect, it won't treat us with respect on the Day of Judgment. Imam Jafar Sadiq ﷺ has said, whosoever performed the obligatory of Salah at the beginning of their times and observed their restrictions, the angel would raise them white and pure to heaven. And the Salah would say to the performer, may Allah preserve you as you perverse and entrusted me to a generous angel. But whosoever performed them after their times with no excuse and did not observe their restrictions, the angel would raise them dark and black, while the Salah shouting at the performer, you have lost me, may Allah lose you, and may He not care for you as you did not care for me. Truly, this hadith is advising us on something very important. The most important thing that we must remember is that our Salah involves our whole being. It involves our body, our mind and our soul. So performing Salah, we must make sure that our bodies are rightly cleansed and our intentions are pure and our hearts are sincere. And during Salah, we should not only utter the words with our tongue, but we should also realize what we are saying with our minds and should feel it deeply within our hearts. We must close our eyes to this world and open them towards our Creator. We must let go of all little things in our life and focus completely on Allah. Of course, to do all these things are not easy, but we must try it as much as we can, and inshallah, with practice and patience, we may be able to turn our prayers into something very special indeed. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjah. Thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin there raised a really important point. Before I was on talking about how Salah really can change your experience in control, in self-control, this continuous remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you with this self-control, but also with forbearing, keeping away from the sins that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden for you, and taking away these bad habits in yourself, which is all to do with self-control. But a really important point that Mohsin brought up is that if there's not this sincerity in your Salah, would this work for you?
No.
Would it have any effect on you? No.
No.
If you're many people, there are people who do salah just because they have to. Yeah. Leave it up to the last minute, or always leave it for qaza. Do it at the end of the day. Yeah, because for them they felt like they had no time in the day to do it, and they always leave it up. And this salah is not sincere. Yeah, this most definitely will not have any effect on you. Yeah, but then the salah will be thrown back in your face on the day of judgment. Yeah. So most people who are watching this anyway are people who probably might be starting to do salah, might be practicing to start to do salah, yeah, because they're not wajib yet, yeah, and have been throughout Ramadan have been practicing to learn salah, to do it and get ready for when they're old and they have to do it every day, yeah. The advice that many people would give to them is that make sure you don't leave your salah to go qaza, because they're gonna build up. Yeah, make sure as soon as you turn wajib that you're gonna keep on doing the salah, and you're gonna feel the effects, obviously. Yeah, the benefits. Yeah, but you don't want to come up to this point in your life where you're maybe 50, 60 years old and you're just beginning to do your salah again, and you're thinking about the past. Oh, I've like 10 nearly 40, maybe 40. There's people who in their life hasn't done salah for 40 years. Yeah, there's all different types of people who have left their salah. Yeah, so obviously the biggest advice is once you turn baligh, yeah, you will do your namaz from that day. And obviously sometimes it might go up to qaza, yeah, but make sure that you're fulfilling them as well. Yeah, that you'll do your namaz qaza. So, Misra, you've got something for us. So, can start, Misra, with the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Prayers can't be answered unless they're prayed. Life without purpose is barren indeed. There can't be a harvest unless you plant seed. There can't be attainment unless there's a goal. And man's but a robot unless there's a soul. If we send no ships out, no ships will come in. Unless there's a contest, nobody can win. For games can't be won unless they're played. And prayers can't be answered unless they're prayed. So whatever is wrong with your life today, you'll find a solution if you kneel down and pray. Not just for pleasure, enjoyment and health, not just for honours and prestige and wealth, but pray for purpose to make life worth living, and pray for the joy of unselfish giving. For great is your gladness and rich your reward when you make your life's purpose the choice of the Lord. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Okay, so we're gonna go into more talking about this. I don't think we're able to finish the topic. We'll continue talking about salah in the coming weeks as well. Yeah, so Mohsin, you've got the next thing, so we can start Mohsin off with the loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
Prayers have to be recited in their prescribed times and with proper concentration. People who undermine prayers or anything that forms a part of praying are called mustaqif, in Arabic literally meaning those who take it lightly. The sixth Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, has said that there is no sin greater than that of prayers being taken lightly. Note that the Imam alayhi salam does not say the worst sin is missing prayers but taking the prayers lightly. This shows the importance of not only reciting the prayers but also it with correctly with great respect. Allah also said in the Holy Quran, Al-Ma'un, so pray to those so woe to those who pray but do not pay attention when they say their prayer. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, as for a salah, half of it may be accepted, or 1/3, or quarter, or a fifth, or even a tenth. Another salah may be folded like an old dress and be thrown back at the face of its owner. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Thank you, Mohsin. So, Mohsin going on there, talking about how there's a big problem with you doing salah. You're not
You're not doing it.
You're not doing it properly. Meaning you might say the right words, but you're just saying them out of action, out of repetition, not because they're meaningful for you.
It's more deep in depth.
What do you say, Mohsin?
More like deep in depth, so you have to mean it.
Yeah. And Mohsin gave an ayah of the Quran, yeah, and he was talking about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, woe to those who pray, yeah, and what did it end up? Woe to those who pray,
who are healers of their prayer, and like basically like they take it lightly.
Yeah, who take the salah lightly, meaning
that they don't care.
Yeah, that it's out of an action of repetition. It's not out of action of, oh, I'm doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm doing it to make my parents happy. I'm doing it because for the sake of doing it. Yeah. Oh, my mosque teacher's staying in my house today. Oh, I got to show that I do namaz, so I'm gonna pray today. Yeah. This salah should be only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yeah, not for anyone else. And what are ways, Mr. Mohsin, this is a question for you too, what do you think are ways that people can make their salah more meaningful for them? Think about, we're living in the UK, how would living in the UK affect this? In what way?
So, what do you mean by that? Like?
What language do we speak?
English.
We're speaking right now English, isn't it? What do you think we could do to make our salah more meaningful?
We can
in Arabic and
obviously our salah
really
the what?
Really focusing on the meanings of it all.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing is that when we're doing Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you're going on, you're talking, but people do their salah and they're saying all these words, but these words for them have no meaning. They don't know what they're saying. Yeah? This is a problem. It's obviously a problem. The people, they're reading their salah, yeah?
They don't know what it means.
And they don't know what it means.
They're reading it blindly. They're reading it blindly. So.
Yeah, reading it blindly. They don't know what it means. They cannot take the benefit of it if they don't know what it means, obviously, as well. Yeah? So, Misbah's got the next one, so I can start Misbah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum.
Here are some ways to improve your concentration in prayer. Know the meaning of what you recite. For most Muslims in the world, Arabic is not the native language they speak, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to recite our prayers in Arabic. This means that we must understand enough Arabic to that we fully understand the meaning of what we recite. Have presence of heart and mind. The key to having concentration in prayer is to make your mind and your heart go along with the actions of your body. The minds of those who do not pay attention in prayer wander freely as soon as Takbir al-Ihram has been performed. Some ways you can improve your attention in prayer. From the moment you begin performing wudu, focus on the task at hand. Ask Allah to protect you from the fire of hell, the same way the water of your wudu washes over you. Proceed from performing wudu to your musalla without being disturbed, and think about every action you do. Before beginning prayer, recite adhan and iqamah, and know that when you do so, angels will line up to pray behind you. Perform other mustahab actions as well, as such as wearing perfume, nice clothing, and an aqiq ring. Do not do something before prayers, like chatting with a friend about worldly things that will distract your mind while in prayer. If you are drowsy, hungry, or need to go to the bathroom, and there is enough time, take care of these things before saying your prayers. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjam. Thank you, Misbah. So Misbah talked about a couple things that would help us with concentration in Salah, and really having a meaningful Salah, which was one of the things that we said. Knowing the meaning of the words that you're saying. What else did you mention, Misbah?
That to focus on like the task in hand, so like when you're doing wudu, focus on that, and like don't get distracted at all. So like don't do anything before your salah that will distract you, like chatting to your friend about worldly things, and to not
do not fuss over like wearing perfume or nice clothes or rings.
Okay, so Mohsin, there's a few other things that you're going to talk about, and we're going to end on these things. So can we start, Mohsin, off with our salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything, and there is absolutely nothing we can do without His power. For example, we cannot sit, stand, speak, or even take our next breath without power and permission of Allah. When you fully realize this point, you will be able to concentrate better in prayer, because the feeling of khushu. The lack of pride will fill your body when you pray, especially when you do sajda. Since the shaitan was unable to perform sajda because of his pride. The only way to control your imagination is to always be aware of it and to watch it. At the end of your salah, think back to your imagination and all the things you thought about other than prayer itself. Next time, you'll make your goal to do even better to win. One of the best ways to have concentration in prayer is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance from the Ahlul Bayt, and to remember the way that they and their companions used to concentrate in prayers. A companion of the fourth Imam said, I saw Ali ibn al-Hussein, may peace be upon them, offering prayers when the cloak slipped from his shoulders. The Imam did not arrange until he had finished his prayer. When I questioned him about it, he said, Woe to you! Don't you know before who I stood? Nothing except it of a devotee prayer, what he offers with proper attention of his heart. Thereupon to him may ransomed for you. Then we are doomed, he replied. No, indeed, verily God compensates, so that the faithful by the means of extra nawafil prayers. A man belonging to the tribe of Ghafwan was pursuing the Muslims so that he might do them some harm and return immediately. This man took advantage of the darkness of the night and shot an arrow at the person guarding the valley. While the latter was offering prayers, the arrow sentry was so much absorbed in the invocation that he did not much feel the prickly sensation caused by the arrow. He pulled out the arrow from his foot and continued his prayers. However, the attack was repeated 3 times. The last arrow of the enemy struck his foot so immediately that it awakened Umar. The tragic condition of Abad moved Umar very much, and he said by the way of protest. Why did you not awaken me at the beginning? The wounded sentry replied, I was praying and I was reciting the Holy Quran when suddenly the first arrow hit me. The enjoyment of invocations and the deliciousness of attention towards Almighty Allah kept me from breaking my prayers. If the Prophet had not made me responsible for guarding this point, I would not at all have broken my prayers and the surah which I was reciting, and would have given up my life making invocation to Allah before breaking my prayers. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjah. Thank you, Mohsin. So Mohsin there mentioned some things about swallowing your pride, yeah, and how we can actually change and make our salah more meaningful, yeah. And also he mentioned how we can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, yeah, through the teachings of the through the teaching of Ahlul Bayt, yeah, to show us how we can obtain concentration in salah. Yeah, I hope I got this story right. Yeah, because Mohsin's story reminded me. I hope this is the right story. But to see really to see the pinnacle of concentration in salah, we can look at Imam Ali alayhi salam. Yeah, I hope I'm getting this story right, just because it came into my memory now. That he an arrow. There was about an arrow shot into his in his leg or his ankle or something, and the people were trying to take it out, but it was too painful. Yeah, too painful to take it out. But the namaz time came. Yeah, salah. It was salah time. So Imam Ali went, and he was doing salah, and one of the people around him said, because of his concentration and his love for salah, yeah, we should, while he's doing salah, take out the arrow, and he will not feel it. Yeah, so he was doing Imam Ali was doing salah, and they pulled out the arrow, and he didn't react in any way. Yeah, this is how much concentration in salah that the Ahlul Bayt had, that the Prophet had, that all the Prophets had. Yeah, this concentration. I'm not telling you that when you do salah, have this amount of concentration that if an arrow shot you and it got pulled out, that you wouldn't feel a thing. Yeah, aim for that. Yeah, but have this meaningfulness that you do with your salah. Don't just do it because out of repetition, out of pride. Yeah. So I thank you for joining me on today's show. I thank everyone at home as well for joining me on today's show, and hope you've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and hope these lot have learned a lot as well on today's show. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Hidayat TV. But until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.